Forget TikTok's old money aesthetic, aka fast fashion prep. Hilary Banks did it first, and she did it better. She brought the hats, blazers, bags, brooches. Oh my god, that alliteration. Along with being regularly quoted all over 2010's Pinterest and Tumblr, Hilary, from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, lived in the lap of luxury, and certainly took fashion cues from it. But that's not all her style was. Her looks evolved from her character growth, change of 90s fashion trends, and when she just feels like it. There are 6 seasons, roughly 300 outfits, likely bought from Melrose Avenue and Rodeo Drive. We have a lot of marble-stoned ground to cover. We're gonna look into the old money but trendy fashions of Hilary Banks. So now, let's get started. From the orders of his mom, Will Smith moves from West Philadelphia to live with his aunt, uncle, and cousins in their ultra-fancy but stuffy neighborhood of Bel Air, California. Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv are strict but supportive. He also lives with Carlton, who is very proper, Ashley, who's more down-to-earth, Jeffrey, who is the butler, who throws shade nonstop, and Hilary, who's spoiled, snobby, and loves shopping. She's 21, doesn't go to school, not that her parents know, doesn't have a job, and she literally does whatever she wants. Think a 90s LA version of London Tipton, if you will. One of her catchphrases is asking her dad for $300 to $500. Unique method of saving. Never spend your own money. She speaks in a Valley Girl accent, but thinks lowly of the Valley. That's like where hell is. In the production stage of Fresh Prince, Hilary Banks was nearly written out at last minute, but thank goodness that didn't happen because she was a series standout. She also appeared in contemporary sitcoms Out All Night and Blossom, so it's basically canon that all these shows exist in the same universe. But Will Smith, like the real him, was on Blossom. The costume department supervisor of the show was Judy Richmond. She previously was the associate costume designer for A Different World, and I have a feeling she took some notes from Whitley for Hilary. For Will's outfits, Judy explains, "We took our cue from Will Smith. He is the character, so his wardrobe for the show is pretty much what he'd wear himself. As for his family, described as yuppies, the wardrobe mostly came from Neiman Marcus, Mortisport, and boutiques from Melrose Avenue and Beverly Hills." Richmond explains, "Ashley, I'm sure she meant Hilary, is a silly, superficial, spoiled rich girl who could be a fashion victim. She'd go for anything that is current, except for street clothes. She dresses expensively and stylishly, but she's sometimes a little over the edge. How does she do that exactly?" On her first appearance, Hilary asked her dad for $300. When she came home from shopping, she needs a new hat. Another one. This is one of her trademarks that we'll see several times throughout the series, along with a power blazer that matches her bottoms and a brooch. Her other trademarks include headbands, earrings, pearl necklaces, and her favorite color seems to be red. She also has a few plaid moments to really give off the preppy business feel. She may not have a job, but at least she looks like she runs a company. She also has a collection of small bags, and because these are small and off-shoulder, I think she goes to Chanel for purse shopping. One of her more timely, trendy looks featured a flower hat, which I am obsessed with. I hope they make a comeback, but if they don't, I don't care. I want one for myself. In this time, Reagan-era materialism started cooling down and paved the way for styles that were a little more playful and with natural motifs. Hilary isn't particularly chill or laid back, but always knows what's up when it comes to fashion, so she occasionally has a boho chic moment. In more formal settings, she would have a little black dress, which is a classic closet staple, but reached a particular level of popularity in the 90s. And remember that this was the supermodel era, so one of the most famous season 1 cameos was Naomi Campbell, who also wore a little black dress. One look that stood out was when she was going on a favor date. She wore a modern rendition of Yves Saint Laurent's 1965 Mondrian collection. Francesco Maria Bendini's 1990 fall-winter show did a tribute, or potentially ripped off, the Mondrian collection with a contemporary spin. Hilary's aesthetic is very classy, ladylike, and elegant, but she still doesn't look stuffy or stiff. She appears as a refined, stylish, respectable adult, even though she has a lot of growing up to do. She supposedly has been studying at UCLA, but it turns out that she dropped out 3 months before. She may be judged for being spoiled and idle, but maybe she's just figuring out her direction. But lying about going to university is rough. I can't imagine if I did something like that. In season 2, we see a lot of her signature blazers, flower hats, and plaid. But compared to season 1, her looks have gotten more colorful. Less ladies who lunch, more 91 Versace. I think this ColourPop situation was to really emphasize her shopping habits. Her date night fit is a particular season standout. Oh my god, the cut, the sheer sleeves, simplicity is more. In season 3, Hilary has a steady job as a weather forecaster in a local newsroom, and here is where she'd meet her love interest, Trevor. Her style continues to be colorful, but she started to change her silhouettes up a little more. She may wear vests, ties, ruffle tops. Still very business casual, formal, chic, but essentially she's experimenting more. Also, she moved from bowler hats to berets and newsboy caps. Yep, she's consistent with what's in style. There's some benefits that come with working at a news station instead of asking dad for $500. She has a real reason to shop. You can't just report the weather and repeating outfits. The viewers won't trust you. There are some in-jokes of the Hilary Banks look. In episode 9, she comes face to face with Trevor's ex, who acts and dresses a lot like her. Plaid, flower hat, and all. They're polite, but don't get along. Season 4 is crazy. Hilary is getting a televised marriage proposal from Trevor. He tries to bungee jump while proposing, and he just dies. After she dyes her wedding dress black, she's mostly concerned if she's a widow or not. Also, Aunt Viv changed. She changed, and either no one notices or they're politely pretending that everything's normal. Behind the scenes, Janet Hubert, who plays Aunt Viv from seasons 1 to 3, left Fresh Prince, where a new contract that not only cut her salary, but also stated that she can't act anywhere else. Basically, constructive dismissal. She felt disrespected and silenced by the production and Will Smith. It's a shame. Fresh Prince wasn't the same without her. Production may have been acting crazy, but at least the costume department knew what they were doing. I think the season 4 Hilary fits 8. Her style was starting to get a little more casual, not super laid back, but with an Anna Sui type of coolness. She has more layers, accessories, ruffles, and she also started getting into chokers. Chokers really came into fashion with the trend of early 70s revival, which in turn took lots of inspiration from Victorian and Edwardian styles. Stuff really keeps on recycling. Her look evolved into a more polished, romantic take on early 70s boho, and it just screams 1993 in the best way. Fashion was moving towards a more earthy, whimsical, retro-inspired direction, and again, Hilary is a fashion girl. She never goes out of style. Another one of her season 4 trademarks was minimalism. Simplistic coolness was also on trend. Black would also seemingly replace red as her favorite color. You could interpret, since she's progressing with her career, her aesthetic changed from spoiled rich girl to spoiled, high-style professional woman. Hilary tries to do a mini-me thing with Ashley, but at this point, she was developing her own sense of style. Ashley's aesthetic is very Cher and Dion from Clueless. I guess this type of girly, preppy pastel look was popular among LA rich kids in the mid-90s. Season 5 is probably the most businesswoman she's ever looked. And yeah, she's busy. She's seen in a lot of business casual and got into stripes. I really do like pinstripes especially. They're very in fashion today. She's at a place where she's getting her life together. Her career is doing well, and she moves out and buys a house. Gen Xers were spoiled. Season 5 aired from 94 to 95, and she was kind of ahead of her time. She wears a pink jacket with fur trimming, and a dress in that style. She even had her dad looking trendy. Fur trimming would become really popular during the late 90s, early 2000s, but you had to style it carefully. Season 6 was huge for Hilary because she got her own talk show. She talked about lifestyle and fashion. I like how for her winning moment, she didn't have to outgrow her interests that many people judged as shallow and frivolous. She made a living by talking about what she knows and likes. Stylistically, she retains her trademarks. We still get the flower brooches, hats, and blazers, but updated. I think she's at a point where she's focusing less on what's popular at the moment, but wears whatever she likes. She has lots of different colors, styles. She doesn't stick to one specific aesthetic, though it's all still classy. Season 6 is when she starts thinking about being a mom, how she'll do it. Something like this is a huge life-changing thing, so her personal stakes have definitely changed. At the end of the series, her talk show would become nationally syndicated, which led her moving to New York. I think she'll like the East Coast life. She'll probably have a vacation house in the Hamptons, all that stuff. Hilary Banks, this time portrayed by Coco Jones, returned in 2022 with the drama series Bel-Air, based on the fan film of the same name. This time she's an influencer, which makes sense. Her style direction here is very youthful, early 2000s inspired. Lots of crop tops and minis. I think her best look is the black dress with the collar and slit. Very preppy, but still edgy. A slit does so much. Hilary Banks' main look is very refined, LA regal, but she still incorporated some playful and eclectic elements. She may be judged for being too spoiled, too airheaded, too fashion-obsessed, but in the end, she's a businesswoman with a brand. What can we learn from her? Follow your dreams. And that's all I have for the fashion of Hilary Banks. Check out my Patreon. You can find exclusive, short lifestyle audiobooks. And thank you all for watching, and hope to see you all in the next one.